Hi, everyone. Thank you for checking out this week's episode. I wanted to jump on and offer a small reminder of the ways that you can connect with us. The first way is our socials. So we are Men I've Tolerated Pod on Instagram and Natalie K124 on TikTok, my personal Instagram. And you can find us on YouTube and Pinterest under To All the Men I've Tolerated Before. The second way is by becoming a Patreon member. We are well on our way to our 25 member Patreon, where we are going to unlock bonus perks to being a patron member. Shout out to all of our existing patrons. As an independently ran and funded podcast, your support means everything. Another way that you can connect with us is making sure to subscribe and leave comments wherever you can so we can start reading reviews on each podcast episode. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure to check out the merch store, and we will see you next week. This is To All the Men I've Tolerated Before with Natalie Katona, your weekly look at everyday misogyny. Today, my guest is the lovely, I think this is your season 3 debut.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting.
It's Elizabeth Kyle, who you will recognize from our 90s protagonist episode and religious trauma episode, and just me seeing her
yes.
in Tennessee and just overall loving her. It's Elizabeth Kyle.
You guys, it's so mutual. I'm so excited to be here tonight talking about really like one of my top 3 favorite subjects in the whole world. So I'm here for it.
Taylor Swift.
The Taylor Swift.
Taylor Allison
Not my cat.
Swift.
Not my cat.
Did you name her fully Taylor Allison Swift?
So that's funny. Her name is actually Taylor Barbie Swift.
Oh, that's right.
So I do this often with my animals. I like to name them after women I love and respect. I've had Dolly, the doggy, and Tippy, the hamster. Now we have Taylor Barbie Swift, 2 of my favorite ladies, having moments right now.
I love it because it's T-A and T-B.
Oh, I love that.
Like literal succession.
That's right.
But Taylor Swift, she is the moment. She is the movement, and I got yelled at for saying that out loud one day from one of her haters.
Oh my! And they're out there, you guys. Like
they're out there.
The hater rate is strong with this one.
In fact, that's my first question, because I think so. When I'm at the Eras tour, I'm going to be telling this episode to strangers. So I'm assuming that there are a lot of tolerators out there. So in case you didn't clock it, because I looked so good in Chicago, I'm in my 30s. Taylor Allison Swift is exactly 2 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. So we were babies when debut came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am older than you both, but that's okay. We don't have to
talk
about it on that. Not by a ton, but I am, I think, just enough older than her, but also so strived for just exactly the lane she lives in with her creative accomplishments and success in business. Like that was literally my dream, was to like go to Nashville and be really any singer-songwriter. Very Coyote Ugly vibes, but specifically like a cool kind of like country songwriter. I don't know. She really gave life to this dream of mine. I didn't even know she was out living in the world until I'm like driving to work one day and here. I think the first one I ever heard of hers was Our Song, which look, it's like we're going way back in the Wayback Machine, but immediately I was like, who is that? I don't even know if I love it. I'm listening to this and like it's so different and it's so blindingly, beautifully sort of naive and earnest that like, but it feels real. So coming from the South and listening to country music in many iterations, from my own radio to, you know, you're just out shopping at Walmart, wherever, like it's ever present. And it is so, I feel not genuine so many times, more than not. Like you're feeling the like, are you from the country? I think Mr. Keith Urban, you're from, that's fine. Look, it's fine. Canadians, Australians, you can all be cowboys. But there was something so genuine in her voice and the like in everything that it really, I was taken aback immediately as something of a musician myself. Like I really respected what I was hearing from, day one. Upon further investigation, Tim McGraw, like everything off that debut album, I seriously was like, okay, this girl, she don't pull punches. Like she's dropping names of those that she knows and those that she does not. She is like, what a fucking baller move. After I heard Tim McGraw, I was like, we will never not have her name in lights. Like, that is so genius.
So Tim McGraw or Teardrops on My Guitar were the first ones I had memorized. And because they're off the same album, I think they're the first two music videos and the first two singles, which whoever came first is the first one I had memorized.
Right.
And I will say, as I get further from the music and I'm just getting to know Taylor, she's kept that honesty and that earnest.
Oh, we'll get into it.
Yeah. She is still the girl who will just tell an interviewer, like, I don't know, that's weird.
So from the top, let me just go ahead, and I don't feel it's as much discourse as there is around our national treasure, Taylor Swift. Especially at this moment, like, Natalie, there's too much to talk about. Like, we're going to have to go late. We're going to have to, like, have an extended, like, chat about just all the things. But we're here to focus and talk about one thing and one thing only. And I think our conversation truly is going to ultimately be about, and us talking around how I think a lot of the Taylor hate is some internalized misogyny. And I think it all comes from a really specific place. I think there are a handful of people that really were sort of the resistance to her becoming the superstar that she is today. And I think all of those things are in a lot of ways specifically because she is not just a female identified human on this earth. Mm-hmm. She is the girliest capital G motherfucking pop star you've ever seen.
Yeah.
She is white cakes and cupcakes and princess dresses. She is snakes when she's angry and glitter and sequins and fog machines and rain and midnight and 2 a.m. Like I get it. I understand that it will not be for everyone. But what I can't stand for is the vocal opposition to just the joy that she brings others. And I think that is something that wouldn't be happening to a Justin Bieber or to a Justin Timberlake, if we want to go back to our day. Like, I think all success and reward that comes to them was because they worked hard and because they deserved it. And we wouldn't be here talking about it if you didn't feel sort of similar, that like, I don't think that the same grace has been granted to Taylor Swift.
So I think I told you that my one bit of research was to actually sit down and watch the Miss Americana documentary, because I knew that the Miss Americana documentary is where she actually says...
It's real, yeah.
Yeah. She says
Was this your first viewing?
Yeah.
Did you cry?
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Okay.
And I watched it on April 24th.
I know, right?
Yeah. Or is it April 29th?
It's, oh gosh. I have to sing the whole song in my head.
Where I was April
29th.
I think it's the 29th. I don't know. But anyways, it was a Saturday and I'm watching it, and I wanted to watch it because I know it's the first time that she just said, enough is enough.
Mm-hmm.
You will not tell me anymore what I will and will not publicly believe. And she's doing it in a full out sob. She is sobbing at grown white men with her mother sitting on a couch with her, just going, for years, for decades, you made me.
Listen, I will forget. I'm so ADD. Please forgive me for just stomping all over any point you're trying to make, because they're all wonderful and I'm so here for this conversation. If I don't see this now, I will not circle back around to it, and I would be upset with myself. You mentioned her mom, and so right here, I just want to lay down as a mother. we're not just talking about the success and talent and creativity and competence of one woman in Taylor Swift. She was so directly informed by the people who raised her. Like, so to see her and her mom face a lot of this head on, sort of them against the world, feels correct in both who they are and what they're representing and what they're up against. And also, I think not enough is ever said about her mom and her relationship. I mean, you do find interviews where she's, and especially since her mom, got sick not long ago, there has been some focus on it. It is just so beautiful, I think, how silent a partner she is for her daughter, who is a shooting star that cannot be contained. We are not seeing any Dina Lohan. We are not seeing any, like, there's not a part of her that is thirsty for 1 inch of the attention. And that gives me more faith in what I feel I know to be true about her as a person, Taylor Swift, because that all matters so much. Like, that is so much what informed who she is now as an adult, I feel.
Yeah. And, when people throw Taylor Swift hate at me, and I think it's because of my commitment issues, not because of my fan level. I would have never have said, I'm a Swiftie. I listen to her music, CDs drop, I listen to them.
Let's do that. Okay, let's right off the top, tell me your, like, I'm hosting your show. Tell me your, today, what is your level of Swiftness?
I'm all the way in.
All in, okay.
I would jump in front of a car for her.
This is not gatekeeping at all. This is for listeners at home to just align themselves in the environment and conversation we're having here. Are you someone that you feel that is something you came to recently, or
folklore?
Gotcha. Okay.
When she went into the woods.
Oh, I get it.
During the goddamn pandemic, she went into those woods and she came back out and she's like, I wrote these 2 albums. Do you want to hear them?
And now I'm a fairy. I'm your queen. Bow down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I totally get it. Yeah.
She lived my dream. She went into the woods and she found her inner power. It's what I want for all women.
Well, she's a witch, clearly. I mean,
she's a witch.
Right. Yeah.
And so it was folklore. Now,
how, I will say, this is interesting. How vocal do you feel in IRL are you about your fandom, and how much, like, shit do you actually get for it? Because I don't think people understand
how much shit we get.
Yes.
So I'm pretty vocal. Luckily, a lot of people are on the same page with me. My favorite wife of my cousins, when I told her I finally got tickets to Eras, she immediately said, not my thing. Super happy for you, because I knew how much you wanted them. And that is the level I need everyone to be at.
But also, can I even interject at that and say, what is it about certain people, certain things that make another person feel compelled to first tell you where they stand on the enjoyment of this person, thing, or place, and then allow your enjoyment?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There is something about her that is wildly divisive.
It is.
And if you have an opinion about Taylor Swift, I feel like no matter who you are or what it is a hot take. People do not feel neutral about her.
So the reason why I brought up Americana is because, and then there are people in my family who give me a lot of hell, because in 2015 or in 2012 or whenever debut came out, I don't know dates, time is a construct.
Mm-hmm.
They were team, this girl sucks, this girl writes songs about nothing, and this girl cannot and will not sing.
Mm-hmm.
So people latched onto that and, like, literally made it part of their dating profiles into adulthood.
Yeah.
Like, you made one opinion when you were 12 years old, and then you were like, and this is what my Hinge profile will be built upon. Not me. So the reason why I bring up Miss Americana is because during the litany of, there's this montage of other women tearing her down in the press, and people being like, I'm just so sick of her. I'm sick of her rich friends. I'm sick of her attitude. I'm sick of her hearing about all of these boys or whatever. One of them, and should we ever become friends and you're listening, this is not a dig. It's a point, and it's something that I clocked. One of them is Nikki Glacier. the comedian. And I have watched Nikki Glacier get live on Instagram and sob to Folklore.
Wow.
And dissect every song. I've watched Nikki Glacier literally meet a stranger, I think in Atlanta, to go to the Eras tour.
So this is one thing I think speaks volumes about what she brings to society and the community she inhabits. There is something about her that is this equalizing, galvanizing force for empaths, or I don't know, like if you have blood pumping. I'm not saying that you're wrong if you don't like her. I'm not at all. Taste is a very subjective, personal thing. I will only watch like gruesome horror movies. I get that. I totally understand that like things are not for everyone. Taylor Swift, again, it's such whatever your take, it is a hot take because people do not feel neutral about her. And that it was so uncool to like her in the beginning. Like,
you were bullied. Like, there are scars.
I wouldn't talk about it. I didn't
either.
It was in my car by myself. Like, okay, so but here's like the deep dive on it. I feel it's a thing that like Taylor and I would have to like sit down and talk about. Were we to become friends at any point? I'd love to be your hairdresser, Taylor. I'm not that far from you. Just let me know. But I obviously wouldn't be just handing my playlists over to somebody that I'd like. That was a very protected thing. It was private on I guess it was Spotify, like whatever it was, like where you could like show what you're listening to. I wouldn't, primarily because of Taylor Swift, like because pretty frequently that's what's on repeat for me. I felt too old to be enjoying her music. I felt like it was too simple and direct, and again, just that like sort of like sparkling, naive quality, which is where I was in life too. I was a guitar, like I was waiting tables at the time, and still very much dreaming of realizing some type of like musical career. My husband worked overnights, so I was alone a lot. Like I set up a little home studio. I made a 7-song EP demo. Like I freaking sent it to Big Machine Records. I even got like a response where, I mean, whatever. Like there was a moment that I was like, our paths might cross. Like this is a person that she presents herself so in such a human, relatable way that like there doesn't feel like that royal disconnection. I feel that she lives near me and like would be somebody open to collaborating on many different things. Now, I understand that like that is all by design, and she gives fans a very like a front row seat to the things that she chooses. We'll get to that later in the conversation because I think that also she is a mastermind. It is all brilliant and it is all done to great effect.
Yeah.
But for somebody who was trying to break out in music in an area where music is a thing people do in Memphis, to secretly be learning every single Taylor Swift song on my guitar, and then like I'm sure I could dig them up somewhere, like have like these like deconstructed covers, and like I saw her, like I was like right there, like this music guts me. It really like I don't care if it sounds like a 4-year-old wrote it. Sometimes I feel like that's exactly what you need. I have a 4-year-old, and let me tell you, they're incisive as shit. Like there are times where she looks straight in my eyes and tells me truth I cannot handle on a Tuesday. So what's wrong with that? Like, and I think what is wrong with that is a lot of men who stood to make money and then ended up making money off of her were almost embarrassed. Like you almost felt this like Kristen Stewart, Robert Pattinson promoting Twilight quality, where it's like, I don't like this look on you because this is about to make you a lot of money. So I need you to be proud of the thing that's going to get you all the fans. Like, she is the golden jewel in your crown.
Yeah, and it's not fucking John Mayer.
Exactly. Well,
where is John Mayer?
Touche.
John Mayer, where are you?
I'm going to guess wherever he is, his body is not a wonderland at this moment.
He's so sad.
Which is fine.
Which is fine.
Hey, it really is.
Hey, I told someone, it was, we will get to the Matt Healy of it all.
Oh, will we? Girl.
But I was talking to Stephanie, and I said something along the lines of, I don't think we talk very often enough about Taylor Swift was opening for John Mayer. He was very much
that power dynamic. Everything about that was textbook
grooming.
Like, yeah, it was.
And she's 19.
It makes I can barely listen to Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda. I literally, like, I reserve it for the most, like, real moments of my day where I really need to, like, ground myself emotionally. That shit is so potent. Like, if you are listening, I don't know why you would be, but if you are listening to this because Natalie's awesome and you love the podcast and you have not listened to Taylor Swift sing Woulda, Coulda, Shoulda on the Midnights, you, like, stop it right now, pause it, go, you're welcome.
Yeah.
It's so raw and real. And, like, what she has honed we have grown with her. She has started where people were like, it sounds like a 4-year-old's writing this. And now this is like I'm sorry, like, it is Paul McCartney level.
Yeah.
Like, the construction and talent and creativity that goes into the songs, each one of them.
Also, I'm pretty sure she probably wrote Tim McGraw when she was 4. She's a fucking genius.
Well, exactly. Right. That's my point. Like, I love how hard she just went out and did the thing she wanted to do. It's the age she did, where, like, it is, you may have to add it. I'm, like, in such awe sometimes of, like, it transcends confidence in a way that I am so jealous of and want so badly for my daughter growing up. It's not just, I can do anything if I apply myself. It's this bigger, broader sense of knowing that not only can she, but she will, and it will also improve others' lives. This is not just, like, happening in a vacuum where if you dream hard, you can achieve whatever. It's not like we're watching, like, Nashville, the show, which it's amazing, has its place. But, like,
love you, Connie Britton.
Absolutely,
love
girl,
you.
Please. She's I love her so much. But yeah, it's this real. She takes up space in a way that is so heartening to see as a woman in music, as a woman on Earth. Like, it is unapologetic, and it is in no way she is not trying to be likable in that, like, 90s way of, like, well, if she were just a little more likable, we would enjoy her as the lead in this film. That's not the point. She just is.
Yeah.
So, like, that gets negged about her, like, character and personality. It's bullshit, I think. Like, it's as stupid as being upset someone is blonde.
Correct.
Even if they're not naturally that way. I mean, like, many of us are not, but what a weird thing to, like, hang your hat on.
I was talking about the whole, like, because the Matt Healy thing feels like such a step back that I have to believe it's a lie. Because I'm like, he's our new...
Well, he literally is a step back. Yeah.
He's 2023's John Mayer. Like, right. I get it. You're releasing Speak Now Taylor's version, but we don't have to go back to John Mayer, and we don't have to find a new one.
I'm getting vibes of, help me out. It's been a long day, you guys. Who was it that married? Oh, Mandy Moore. She married, great musician, has a Taylor tie-in. I can't think. It's,
who did Mandy
Ryan?
Moore? I don't know who Mandy Moore married. Look,
say something smart sounding for a second.
So, anyways, the Matt Healy thing, for one thing, I didn't know anything about Matt Healy in the 1975, and I still don't, because I don't listen to men. And so anyways, that story breaks that they may already be dating or whatever. And I shouldn't say already, like, heal how you heal. I don't know how long you and Joe have actually been broken up. And I literally just sent a screen grab of his Google Images page when I typed in his name, and I was like, why is this ugly man touching my goddess?
I know. So I have theories. We can get into it at any point in time. It's Ryan Adams.
Ryan Adams. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, so he had, like, he covered 1984. Wait.
1989?
1989. So I was born in 1984, and I can never, it happens every time. Like, every time I go to say it, I say the year of my own birth. Like I am Jesus Christ, the year of our Lord. Yeah, so he covered that entire album because he was, like, so into it. That's a whole its own podcast because people got really excited about it, then really upset about it, and is it mansplaining her own album to her? And I've got thoughts about all that too. But Mandy Moore and Ryan Adams, their partnership was very, to people of my age, surprising because it was a really, like, gritty weathered soul. Like you could just tell he'd been through some shit. And Mandy Moore was, like we all are, I think, sometimes sort of drawn to the dark energy of it in a way that like is hard to sustain because it can be very selfish.
Yeah, I get
But what
that.
I think is happening is another truly just I feel this is yet another diversion from the fact that Taylor Swift is a full-blown queer person. Let's just go there.
Well, it's a very touchy subject for a lot of people because queerness, and especially female queerness, makes people so icky and uncomfy that they're like, why can't people just be straight and stay straight
there's
anymore?
that. But then also there's like, I understand as a person who is bisexual and has had relationships with both genders, I understand. It's like, I see you, girl. Like, I get it. That like, if Taylor Swift just came out on stage with Carly Kloss and was like, yep, we eat pussy and we love it. Like, she is literally giving the keys to the kingdom to the world. Like, and not even in just a like, oh, it ruined my image or reputation or whatever. No, I mean in a like, think about, well, like we've been saying this entire time, there's no cold take on Taylor Swift. So imagine adding something as divisive. I mean, I hate to even, like, it feels archaic to even be using words like that, but truly divisive as homosexuality to that mix. And it's not that I think she's like protecting her bank account. I think that she has very thoughtfully been present in her life and curated her world such that she can still entertain us and live a life. And if those two things were truly to meld in a way that was not controlled by her, none of it would work. And like, I've never understood the love for royals, like all that. Like, I don't get it until I start looking at my own relationship with Taylor Swift, and I get it. Like, I understand the sort of the appeal of having people in your life that are idealized sort of versions of the people you see yourself to be. That gets messy when you start sort of, I think, holding them to different actual standards, but it happens. And like, so for her then to live within the parameters of what is socially acceptable, I would not be surprised at all if Taylor Swift is like Oprah level, like has like a lover that like has just been living with her. Like,
well, and I think when you bring in that story narrative, like that narrative to her life, people immediately go, well, she'd tell us. Well, no, she wouldn't. Number one, if you're in the public light like that and you are melding your talent with your true life and you're melding it, we've seen people die from that.
I mean, absolutely.
That's what killed Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
That's what killed Kurt Cobain. That's what killed Elvis. We have seen people die from this, just like literally making themselves the commodity.
Well, and I think that is why myself and others feel so, as much as there is this sort of like apathy or Taylor fatigue or just straight up hate in the world, and you experience it because people are very excited to tell you about it. If you are somebody who has a Taylor tattoo, maybe, are you? So it comes up like
one after the Eras.
I think I love it. I love it. Well, okay, so to pause, I got my Taylor Swift tattoo the night I wish I was supposed to be at the Nashville show. So we were together in some way, and it was to honor her. But like, there's a reason. Like, we're mid tattoo with my relative. Like, my tattoo artist here in town is awesome. Trilogy Tattoos. If you're in Memphis, ask for Cypress. They are so great at tattooing and just a great human. So halfway through the tattoo, a coworker comes in, like another tattoo artist, and she totally, like, it's like I could tell another female tattoo artist came in the room to ask my tattoo artist a question. And then to be like, felt so that she was in such a safe space. And this is not at all, not like, when you're in people service industry, like, you were just trying to make it through the day, and the small talk, it can, There's no way. I'm not like, you put your foot in your mouth and I'm going to write a Yelp review about it. Like, I'm not, it's fine. I understand. I'm only using this story to illustrate the point that Taylor hate is such a pervasive thing that people in the South will assume you're Christian. People will just assume if you're in certain places, I think, in the world, you're cool. You don't like that shit. Like, that's stupid and fake, and we don't Taylor here. So I'm getting my Taylor Swift tattoo and like getting all in my feelings about my Taylor Swift love and truly just what she has meant in my life, like, honestly. And this girl comes in and asks her what, makes a joke about, I don't remember, it was something about like, aren't you guys, oh my God, my friend works at a shop in Nashville and they literally had to like put a sign outside that was like, no Taylor talk, please. Like, okay, so
it's a huge moneymaker for you to be a tattoo parlor in Nashville and have so many people.
You should be doing a flash sale. You should literally have disco balls and her cats. Like, I want a flash sheet of, I would have driven to Nashville to get that. So
you're a moron. That's a bad business.
You're just
plan.
leaving money on the table. But also, what if Taylor Swift wants a tattoo one day? Stop shooting yourself right in your own foot, please. Anyway, my point is, that didn't land. I wasn't an asshole, or like, I'm also getting tattoos, so I wasn't really like in the most like casual chatting joke, whatever. Like, yeah. I was busy, but I could tell she felt a little like, oh, okay. And like, cause everybody wasn't just like laughing, whatever. I'm sure Cypress felt strange. She knew it was a Taylor Swift tattoo. But that's just so perfectly encapsulates the dichotomy, I think, in our culture of the love-hate. Mm-hmm. And where do you fall? And it's almost like a Rorschach, like it's like a Kinsey scale at this point of like cool or legitness or some type of, I once told a friend of mine, so I've got a lot of friends in the music industry, some amazingly talented, some it is hobby, they're great at it, but it's not like a thing that's like the focus moneymaker, and everyone in between. Many of these people for very many years have just known me to be both a horror fan and an unapologetic Taylor Swift fan. Now we have a name, it's Swiftie. I love it. I'm here for it. We did not always have that identifying name. So one night I showed up to something, it was it was one of the nights where nobody knew a thing was happening, and then she was like, oh, the thing's happening, and it was like a single or something big in Taylor Nation had happened that day. So I go to this like gathering after work with a few people outside of work that we're all mutual friends with, one of whom is a guy in the music industry here who like runs over to me and is like, I thought about you today when the Taylor whatever dropped. And I know what it was. I do remember. Okay, it was You Need to Calm Down video had just okay. So I was having a great fucking day. Like, I was like on a fucking catwalk, runway all day. Like, just love it. Like, don't bring your negative energy to me about any of the things that people want to say about that video or that song. And so that night, it was a lot of that. Like, it was just people like, well, how do you answer for silence until now on LGBTQ? What do you think about our involvement with or lack of enthusiasm about Okay, first of all, when someone comes in and is like wearing a Jimi Hendrix t-shirt, no one puts them in a corner and is like, he said this thing in 1965. I need you to defend. Like, what is it about, Natalie, I'm asking you this, what is it about being a Taylor Swift fan that makes you an ambassador for truth in Taylor? Like, it's like, there's something that it's like, oh, you're the one in the room. Come here, we have questions. What about this? And I'm like, well, the way you're framing that question is incredibly misogynist. Like, it's not even like, it's not my job or her job to address that. Like,
I'm not taking ownership for what she said or what she did not say.
But other people aren't asked to do that for Star Wars.
Right. Is she making child porn? We literally know that people make child porn. Did you watch Glee? Yeah.
Right? There are problems in the world, people. Like,
Yeah. May I still rewatch Glee? Yeah. But, oh, I'm sorry. Is Ezra Miller not still the motherfucking Flash?
Right. Look, I'm just saying, like, the selective nature of cancel culture that will continue to be a thing that we grapple with. when we're talking about somebody who is truly talented, has applied herself and become successful in her field, that then by being known as a fan, I am approached by multiple people at a party where I'm just got off work too. I'm just here to like have a drink and chill. Nope, now we're in a freaking like ma'am, here, press conference. Like, it's like a thing where it's like, okay, well, what about this? Well, what about this? Because people had such opinions about her even saying the word gay. So that also proves my point that you are damned if you do and damned if you don't. Like,
Right. Annie said it the best during the safety episode. There's no winning. You could tell me that my tits are out and I deserve to be raped, but you could also tell me that I could be in a head to toe garb and I'm a fucking prude. And I still deserved it because if I wasn't a prude, I would have just given it up.
right. There is no way to be that is, you just have to be yourself. You have to be your authentic self. And it is strange to me that when your authentic self is a hardcore Taylor Swift fan, that sort of implicates you in these like other conversations or opinions in a way that like, I'm like, well, not all that. Like, I don't know what you're even talking about. I like good things that bring me joy. I also love petting my cat, which, I mean, we won't get into the depths of my insanity. I have the same kind of cat Taylor Swift does. That's why her name is Taylor Swift.
The thing that I've started to use to combat that is when it's safe for her to do it, she'll do it. Because you can't argue with it's not always safe. It's not always safe for me, a nobody, to voice my opinions on Trump, men, misogyny, the trans ban, drag shows being banned left and right. I'm not always safe to be doing that. So how are you going to ask her to, where people know her address? People know where she's going to be and why she's going to be there. People know her entire itinerary.
That's terrifying. I mean, just in today's world, it's terrifying how visible her whereabouts are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't engage with social media for that very reason. And to be a business owner, like somebody working for myself now, and I don't mean to sound alarmist or like some crazy conspiracy theorist, but like I'm friends with too many people on Facebook. Like, I don't like putting addresses, or there's a fine line between like networking and just showing all your shit and making yourself so accessible that like anybody for any reason that just wants to know where you are, do a thing could.
Yeah. And I also have started to go, if you were listening to what the girl was saying, instead of just deciding that she was a blonde bimbo who can't sing, you'd realize that that is, in fact, her movement.
Mm-hmm.
Calm Down. So when Calm Down, the music video came out, I was told it's just performative allyship. She knew that her hand was held to the fire.
That's what I was told as well, as at this party. Like,
right. So we're not happy that she didn't do it, but now we're not happy.
But also, I'm a queer person saying I embrace this and totally co-sign all of it, and it makes me happy. The person talking to me, incidentally, was not queer and happened to be a white man. Let's just call a spade a white man. Yeah. And I felt both the power dynamic and the conversation I was having with this person, where as beta male, I'll be honest, as this person was in my life, like we're talking a feminist ally, liberal voting, tattoo where like I don't think he would like to be framed in any conversation as somebody who was gatekeepy or alienating or, like pissing on anyone's fandom. But in what I said, and this is what I say to this day, because I know where his affections and loyalties lie, and it's not at all something I'm interested in, but like, him being like, well, blah, 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 and trying to bring out all the like, I don't even like the socio-political underpinnings of a move like that. I basically like interrupted him at some point and was like, okay, here's the thing. From now on, moving forward, just consider Taylor Swift my Star Wars. We don't need to go there. I don't need to like it. Is there a day that this man will not be in line for opening night of some bullshit
Star Wars
requel, whatever? No, he will be there with bells on.
In a Jar Jar Binks costume.
That's exactly right. So I've heard enough conversations where he is getting in the mud about like effects on these films and whether they deserve to be and whatever. It's not if, it's not. Everyone has a thing. Everyone has the thing that if you start talking about it or nitpicking it, that they're going to be like, get on their soapbox and get defensive for. I just like a very popular musical artist. Like, this isn't a thing that I feel should come with a whole lot of unpacking. But since you're making me do it, sit down and listen. She's a fucking lady who does her job really well. I'm sorry if that makes you insecure. Every man who's ever hired her, worked with her, helped her. You also don't deserve to get a cut of it because she said your name.
So I have specific things that I want to talk about that I think are a direct reflection of misogyny playing a role in her career and how we as fans or not fans react to it. Why is that girl just writing songs about her exes? Does she not have hobbies? Well, she wrote a fucking song about moving to New York and you said you hated all of her
That's exactly right.
Also, my podcast is in the cultural, societal, feminist realm because all of my exes abused me, maybe not out of malice, but sure as hell out of misogyny.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the biggest tools the patriarchy has done is silenced women about what is actually going on in their homes, in their beds, and in their offices.
100%.
So fuck you, Jake Gyllenhaal.
Dude, fuck Jake Gyllenhaal so hard.
Another groomer. I don't care that she was older.
So I'm listening to Armchair Expert, but like it's in my feed, so sometimes it's just like next, whatever. And so then I noticed the little circle initials were JG, and I was like, wait a minute, is this a Jake Gyllenhaal episode I've been sleeping on? Yes, it was. It came out like 2 days before I start listening to it. Girl, within an hour of them starting to talk, he has, like, I don't know if anyone else caught this. I haven't heard it on any other like pop culture gossip podcast or anything, but I had to like pull over and text people and be like, what have you heard this? So Jake Gyllenhaal on his Armchair Expert conversation, and he's talking about his love of expensive furniture and his favorite furniture company in New York. And it's like so expensive, you guys. And so like, and I'm not kidding, I pulled over into a YMCA parking lot and Googled the company that I had to rewind it 3 times. He said it really quick. And it's just like so cool. It's just whatever. It's just this place in New York. It's like, hey guys, it's basically Restoration Hardware, but it's a dude being like, but it's expensive. Like, this is like,
hey, he's not interesting. None of the men that she's dated are interesting.
Again, like this is fueled by my own anger, not like, how cool and Taylor are you? That is to me so chef's kiss, amazing, and just rounds out the entire narrative of him that she has told us from day one to be true. Because that man has like $1 million couch. We know this from the song.
He sure does.
And I bet he got it at fake Restoration Heart, like this place in New York. Like, I'm looking at their couches and it's like $1.5 million.
The way that I shriek, I don't want to keep secrets just to keep you.
I mean,
the way that my entire body language changes when I'm singing Wildest Dreams.
Oh gosh, that song is so complicated to me. Yeah.
It's
oh man, it's real. Like,
it's literally like I'm a 1920s black and white movie actress just being like, wow,
100%.
I want to try it and figure out how to do the
we'll work on it.
In a friendship bracelet so I can hand it to people. Like, I also like with the, oh no, I'm falling in love.
Have you seen that TikTok that it's like the cat walking on the piano? It's so funny.
But you can't. So art is an expression of what we've lived through and what we've endured. And she has endured...
so who polices that?
Right. And who polices that? And she has endured some really mediocre, kind of boring dudes.
That's right.
I wouldn't
Owl
want to...
City?
Yeah.
Anyone? Enchanted? Anyone?
Joe. So, just some guy named Joe. She just she's had to endure and tolerate just like me. And I think that's why I'm so in for her now, because I'm like, she's just like me.
She is just like, yeah, I mean, but for real, girl.
She's
like,
had to tolerate so many boring men telling her that she's not great. And in fact, she's not only not great, she's too much to date.
Let me just boil it down. So she says things that we all want to say. And it's not like Shakespeare, like it's not like she's like wrapping it up in some English literature language that's very, like, unless we're talking folklore evermore, like she gets her quill pen out for that a little bit, but it's very blunt and descriptive in a way that I think makes particularly men uncomfortable. So I think that they can handle the flowery, like a Phoebe Bridgers song where it's like, you were lost in the parking lot. Like, that's not like, what, you know what I mean? Like, when it's these ghosty, sexy, ambiguous.
You were an enigma in my life and I just couldn't capture you.
Even if you are like Billie Eilish and direct, like you're like a bad guy or like whatever the thing is, like you're getting to the point more, right. But that's still in a very like evocative type of like, the danger could be sexy. And look, I'm not like all music. I love this all. I love all of these female artists' music.
All of them.
For sure. Like, absolutely. And what I'm saying is like how you express yourself, how that language comes out of you organically. Whose job is it to police that? And why is it that Taylor Swift's people, all the people who have ever like ended up in a song or a reference or a liner note, both they get to have this reaction that is pretty intense, and then society at large gets to comment ad nauseum on her as a person and her as a lover and her as a woman and her as a friend because of what she shared with us. Because what I'm arguing is she's not sharing more or less than anyone else. This is her voice that everyone is trying to modify or silence because it's just so direct.
Well, and I think that plays into the criticism of she just doesn't fucking ever let up. And it's like, well, it's because she hears all of your criticism and she goes, I'll raise you a blank space. And no one is prepared for how uncomfortable I'm about to make a room full of people at karaoke when I say, boys only want love when it's torture. Because I fucking lived that.
I will never listen. There's this great moment. Great. Okay, just being real with audience here. I've been married twice. Neither took. During the second marriage, Blank Space came out with both husbands, and they were very well aware that I was Taylor Swift for life, ride or die. Like, it's part of my whole personality, but like it really is. It's not like a jacket I put on. Like, I just fucking love her. Like, I just love this girl. So that comes with knowing me, and the Blank Space starts making new, the videos out, whatever. All my friends know, like, if it's a Taylor day, if something's happening, it's more than my birthday. I get texts like, have you seen, are you good? Did you like it? Like, what's up? Just checking on me to see how things are. And with Blank Space, I was so like, this Phoenix rising from the fire kind of version of her started happening, where I was like, oh, fuck yes. Not only because you're about to burn some of the like boneheadedest nimwits in celebritydom. I'm so here for it. But also because I want someone who, and again, anyone, both either of us are referencing, you're probably my hero if I'm talking about you. Like, I mean this in no,
unless you're John May.
Way that it's no. If you're a woman, where are you right now? Okay.
I have masturbated to Your Body is a Wonderland, but I
stopped.
But I stopped.
No, I have just the song. That's so funny you say that. Like, I totally did that too.
Jennifer Love Hewitt's in that music video.
No, not the video.
But it still plays in my head when I hear it.
Well, this is true, yeah. But yeah, it's like, I want popcorn in a front row seat because she's just been sort of finessing and tightening these muscles that she now was going to flex in a way that, like, I don't think anyone is ready for. And so my husband, well, you've met me here before. You know, it takes a minute to get around to the point. We're driving in the car, and my husband, my second husband at the time, who knows, like, everyone knows, like, you're not, like, shitting on Taylor around me. Like, we're, like, jamming out to Blank Space. And that line, boys only want love if it's still true. So that comes out. It's like, I think it was the first listen for him at the time. And he's like, what did she say? And hang tight, she'll say it again. And she does. And he's like, it's not true. And then, like, this is, I have to just do an improv reenactment of what actually happened. I'm just sitting in this F-150 at a parking, like, lot, whatever. We're, like, waiting to go into the store. And he's like, yeah, that's not true. And then by the second time, she's like, coming around and saying it. He goes, you know what? That's exactly true. That is true. And I watched a white man in the seat of his Ford F-150 about to go into frickin' Home Depot, Target, wherever we were going to do whatever white people think we were doing. That's right. Like, get it for him. Like, truly have a thing sink in that he was like, knee jerk. Not me. What? No. Like, that's stupid. And then Taylor Swift lovingly sang it, gave it to us again. And he's like, yeah, actually, that's a thing I don't think I realized or knew about myself, that is true. And I feel it's true for most men.
Well, and they've been conditioned to want to hunt.
But to see someone recognize that because Taylor Swift sang a thing, girl, like, I don't go to church, but that is my church.
The sex I would have with you if you looked at me and said, damn, that Blank Space makes sense. They do make women keep rosters and then hate them for keeping a roster. Damn.
You have to be the Madonna. You have to be the whore. Like, she puts words to that so perfectly.
And she goes, oh, you're going to care about my relationships? I'll make you fucking care about my relationships. And she's made millions, if not, well, she has in fact made billions off of it. And I tell people, when I tell people that Blank Space is my soul song, as well as Kesha's Hymn.
Oh, girl, yes. I was just listening to that album the other day and thinking about you.
When I tell people, I go, Taylor Swift doesn't know it, but I know it, that when she wrote Blank Space, she wrote it for the woman she knew I'd become. Because that song should be the theme song to all the men I've tolerated before.
You saying exactly what you just said, that soundbite, that is why Taylor reigns. She is queen of all things that are joyful, good, and true in the entertainment industry. And that, what you just said, just so perfectly illustrated that.
And the best part is that the people who don't get it are like, what a funny song. They think she's fucking joking.
Absolutely. 100%.
And that's why she wins.
She uses every single tool in her arsenal so magnificently. And does it in a way that it's able to, like, keep her working and respected as and she knows it, and I know it, and I wish you could see me roll my eyes, as a woman and as a lady and as a pop star, like, all the things. She gets it, y'all. She fucking gets it. She gets it, and she's playing by the rules, but she's killing it, and that kills so many people.
Another thing that people couldn't get over when Midnight's dropped, and Midnight's, it sounds so silly to be like, oh yeah, I was a late in life Swiftie, and the most recent album is my favorite.
No, I was on a podcast recently where they were like, it was a deep dive on Taylor, and they're like, all right, favorite album, go, and expected this, like, PhD answer about, no, it's fucking Midnight's.
It's Midnight.
Bitch, get it. That shit rocked my actual world.
Midnight is Taylor's Rainbow album from Kesha. It's the one where you get to know her the most, and it's the one where you get to know yourself the most.
She's like smoking a cigarette in bed with her, like, nightgown. Like, this is her being her with you to hear it on purpose and out loud in a way.
It's her Janis Joplin era.
Totally.
It's her Joni Mitchell. It's her.
And I love how many people, like, you know, I don't engage a ton with the, honestly, like, the community of the internet at large, but when I would go on Twitter and stuff before Elon, when Twitter was Twitter and people were talking about the things, you would see a lot of people talk about Taylor Swift in this album in a way that was like, well, this is a departure. Like, it's just so obvious when someone's talking about her that like hasn't been holding her hand, metaphorically speaking, through this entire journey. Because no, this is a perfect culmination of what she has been telling us and bringing us as fans for the entirety of her career. And this is the like unplugged, you're in my bedroom, we're talking real. Where like I'm so glad that all the people who are like were so like that really saw her going in this way of like used to be a superstar but now is a wifey, like gonna like I just saw lots of like, well, we're, you know, Taylor Swift is choosing to exit at the top of her game. Eras is gonna be her like farewell, whatever. She's gonna like settle down with Joel and have babies and get the fuck out.
Get out.
Are you kidding? Wait, how do we live in a place where the Marvel universe exists and you also expect this woman to go cook someone dinner and just have a baby?
Just be barefoot and pregnant.
Just be wifey number one.
Just be barefoot and pregnant. So when people, and I will argue that between Folklore, Evermore, and Midnights, your gut reaction is, huh. And then you listen to it the second time and you go, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. So when people only listened to it that first time and they couldn't get past Sexy Baby, and I was like, you all forgot to hear her say, and I'm the monster on the hill, because I'm the monster, me, Natalie Katona, I'm the problem, it's me. I am the monster on the hill at every social gathering I bring, because I'll look you dead in your eye and go, hey, that guy's gaslighting you and he's probably going to murder you one day.
Well, people like me need people like you around because like you're the rat in the woods running away from the T-Rex. Some of us don't have the extreme internal like radar that it takes to feel that out always. And I am very appreciative of the ambassadors of truth like you and Taylor in this world that are just like, no, honey, no.
And I don't know how Taylor Swift became my like Greek mythological fate, where she has such a hit, just like a little pinch on my timeline, where she's sitting in a room writing Antihero, and she's going, this one's for you, Natalie, and the woman that you'll become. Because the monster on the hill and the sexy baby thing resonates so much with me, because while she was writing that album, I was living a life where I was like, all I want is for people to understand why I'm so angry, why these things are important. I'm so tired of cow tipping around why I'm not safe. I'm so sick of wide-eyed, sexy babies.
Mm-hmm.
And she said it. She had the gall to say it.
Well, listen, I was confused why people were like, what does it mean? I'm like, it means literally exactly what she said. Like, how are you confused?
It's the women on TikTok trying to make us believe that the 1950s was the epitome of femininity and we should go back.
Yeah. I mean, it truly, it's a Cupid doll of like a wifey figure that I don't want anyone listening to this and being like, oh my god, this is just like, yeah, misogyny and like, no, but it's like so real.
It's so real.
I mean, yeah, it does suck that we just have to repeat ourselves all the time, but like it also sucks that it happens every day.
And the reason why I equate it to monstrosity is because it literally does tear down my life and my relationships sometimes, because people can't hang with the mirror. So if I'm sitting there and I'm telling you your boss is gaslighting you and he should pay you more, and you're not ready for that, I'm your Godzilla. And Kesha wrote a song called Godzilla, and it's all about bringing Godzilla home to meet your mom. So, oh my god, the parallels between Kesha and Taylor Swift, I'm going to DM them. I'm going to DM them. So, the sexy baby thing, when people are like, that's so dumb. Where did she even come up with that? I was like, my brain. my heart,
inside of me.
right, my broken ass heart that's so tired of losing friends because they would rather be a Dateline episode.
Look, girl, it's just always going to be easier. It's always going to be easier to stick your head in the sand. And that for the entire future of human life and this planet and others where life exists, that will be true. But I will tell you, as a Taylor Swift fan, woman, human, when I heard Antihero after suffering the years of the memes, maybe it's you. What's the common denominator here, Taylor? I think it's you. Oh, is the common denominator that a girl with a vagina dare let a person put a thing inside it and it didn't work? And then again and again. How dare she?
How dare she?
Because sexy babies don't have sex. They just actually don't.
They're just smooth down there, like Barbies.
They are. But then when they find their, God-fearing, Christian-chosen male half partnership situation for life, then it's okay to lose the baby and just be the sexy. But Taylor Swift, like all of us, is just out living in this huge, monstrous body. I mean, honestly, it's like I feel that and I feel like there are some people who might take offense at that because she is Barbie. I'm not discounting the optics, right? Of she is beautiful by any conventional standard. She is thin. She is very feminine. I get it. But also, I challenge you to not find it in yourself to understand the truth of this fact. It literally does not matter what you look like. If you have a brain in your head that's working, you are always struggling with yourself, who you are, how you fit in. That is a myth. The perfect if you're upset with someone on social media, if you watch a movie and it's like, I don't like her, but she just was so, and you can't finish that sentence, I promise you, it's a reflection of things you don't like about you. I promise you.
How did you just perfectly segue into my next point?
Because I love you.
I know, we're so connected. You, me, Taylor Swift, and Kesha.
It just needs to be a four-pole.
It does. Let's all move away into the woods.
Please. We'll just evermore forever.
Because the sexy baby thing made me laugh because I was like, oh, you dum-dums didn't get it. Ha! What? Right. You didn't get her metaphor? Okay. Right. I love when I'm the smartest woman in the room. It's my kink. But I was enraged. I was enraged for her. I was enraged for me. I was enraged for what I struggle with was being turned into. But when they told her, take the fat off the scale, you're Taylor Swift, you're not allowed to have body dysmorphia. I could have lit this entire country on fire.
Okay, so in You're on Your Own, Kid, the line, every iteration of the line, but the one particular that she lands so hard on where it's it's the evolution of the line through the song, actually, the hosted parties.
Mm-hmm. I hosted parties and
with better bodies.
Starved my body.
And then there's that yeah. Mm-hmm. So to me, she is in a way that is beautiful and honestly, hot take, I think quite subtle and pretty nuanced as a writer, putting emotions to words in a way that then to music, that's so effective. But here's what let me just be real. You can if this doesn't work for the episode, edit it out. Here's what it is. Okay, so pretty girls aren't supposed to hurt or feel things.
Correct. That's my point.
So pretty skinny girls with pretty perky boobs that get pretty famous boyfriends, shut the fuck up.
Right.
And so I'm not Taylor Swift. Look me up on I will make it very easy for you to find a photo of me. Anyone listening. I get this. However, I do live in a smallish town. I know the feeling of because of how Aryan I turned out, at the time of history that I was born, that ended up being fortuitous for me. I understand all of the all of the social implications and all of the things that go into why it's problematic and why any luxury afforded to just like a white blonde woman needs to be questioned or weighed. Like I currently am doing all of this in my life, like as we all should.
Mm-hmm.
But I also very much resent this like, shut the fuck up, you're cute.
Hey Barbie, take your Ken, get in your convertible and go.
Yeah.
You're a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. It's fantastic.
100 people that I know are like for sure. Okay, let's back up. Here's what they do. I'm going to say something really hateful about Taylor Swift that's so anti-feminist and stupid. And I'm going to say it on a soapbox in front of a lot of people. Then immediately you come under it with, I mean, look, like, I'm not saying her songs aren't catchy. Like, right? Like, she's fine at what she does. But, like, oh my God, it's not like she. And every time I hear this, and you've been there, I've been there, like, it happens all the fucking time. When I hear that happening, I'm like, boy, I wish there was a white man out here doing this for men all over. Like, I wish people all the time would just show their ass and be like, you know, Brad Pitt's fine. And I mean, I guess I don't hate some of his movies, but like, I just don't understand why you have to like hate your wife or like, no, we're not, no one's talking about that shit. There's literally litigation happening currently about Angelina and Brad.
Shania Twain did say, okay, so you're Brad Pitt.
I do. Look.
Okay, so you're Brad Pitt.
You are beautiful.
Shania knew.
That up.
Shania knew.
No, she did know.
Shania was there for me.
100, same girl, same. But yeah, if there's a pretty girl tax paid in a way that, sure, she's like a billionaire. Like I understand the irony and meta-ness and all the things we're talking about because yet she's still a white woman. She's very, very fortunate, very blessed. Yes, a billion people could have maybe come and done the same thing had they been given the same opportunity. Okay, so maybe it's like kitchen table bills. Everyone's struggle is their fucking struggle. And if you are litigating and trying to monitor and manage what that means and how much artistic merit that has, get out. Like, that's just not what any of this is about.
This is my point with it. Elizabeth, you just went into a lovely description about how you are conventionally beautiful. All of your genes matched up.
Thank you. I had nothing to do with that.
Elizabeth, am I also, after years of the strife and the struggle, a hot girl who does hot girl shit?
100%, yes.
100%. Are there numbers in between our dress sizes?
Likely.
Maybe. Even though we have numbers in between our dress sizes, do we both struggle with body dysmorphia?
Yes.
Has that sometimes meant that we experience disordered eating?
100%.
Oh, pretty people with their disordered eating. Fat people, skinny people. You can't police who gets to feel bad about themselves.
That's exactly right. But it hurts though to be a person, like, you get to a point as an adult where you're medicated enough and you've gone to enough therapy and you've done all the DSM, I am bipolar. I am also obsessive compulsive. I have extreme social anxiety and major depressive disorder. So that doesn't get me into the fucking club about being able to bitch about shit sucking. It hurts my actual feelings, is what I'm saying.
It hurt my feelings for her when people who should be my allies, because they were saying I was so triggered about my disordered eating. And I was like, yeah, we're all on the same page. The patriarchy makes us hate our bodies. We throw up, we starve, we binge.
I've done all of it. Yeah.
We try to feed the machine.
We do drugs. We do like all the things. Like
we suck boys off in the yard that don't like us. Like, we do it. That's what she's saying. And it's like, well, it's triggering. And it's like, it's supposed to be triggering because she's triggered.
And it's beautiful because it's in this like cellophane wrapped pink package that like, it's all fucking on purpose, you guys. This is all part of the performance art that is Taylor Swift. And I'm glad it makes you uncomfortable.
Taylor Swift is processing for us to all see. And you're mad at her for being in a different place with her disordered eating than you are. That's not healing for anybody.
It's not. And that's not trying for the greater good. That is not, that is absolutely building a wall around yourself and trying to police others' lives, feelings, emotions, experiences. Like, so to me, Taylor Swift can be a Rorschach test of like, kind of how much do you want to control me?
And then you tie it all in. You tie it in with the, is she living in a glass closet? Well, if she's not allowed to be honest about her disordered eating, is she allowed to be honest about her connection to the queer community and where she fits in it?
Right.
Then it's, she's not allowed to be honest about who she actually loves and wants to have sex with. So why should she be able to tell you who she wants to be president? Because when the Dixie Chicks tried to tell you who they wanted to be president, you blacklisted them for a fucking decade. It's not easy being a country music fan. Believe me, I know.
Right, same. Right. Like,
when LeAnn Rimes had a little bit of sex with a little bit of a married man on a Lifetime set, you also blacklisted her out of my life for a decade because women
there's a bizarre morality clause in country music that I say fuck off with.
Fuck
that
off.
Shit.
It's hard being a country music fan. It's hard supporting pop queens. And Kesha was abused for decades, and then you all said it was her fault for dropping out of high school. Taylor Swift has an eating disorder, and then you say that's her fucking vanity. She's too pretty for her own good. It's a pattern. It keeps happening. So for you to stand there and just be like, I don't understand why she gets to have an eating disorder, that's just for me, is preposterous for me. And then you call yourself a fan. You're starting to piss me off like the Critical Role fans do. You're starting, because I'm not an apologist.
Well, but that's what's interesting is like, then it puts you and I, people like us that are, I mean, I just feel like sort of grassroots evangelists for people like, do you know what I mean? Like, truly, I will not do it for Christ. I won't do it for you, Taylor. But it puts you in the position of like having to deal with the emotional backlash that people are having at like themselves because of what this is all bringing up. The amount of scapegoats present for someone to just be like, it is too much how much you like her, and it is too much what she is doing. Like, just weed yourselves out. It's fine. And has this happened to you? How about like, sometimes Taylor Swift will come up in conversation. Often she will, just as happens naturally. Not because I'm wearing a t-shirt or like playing acoustic guitar like a busker.
Probably because you fucking look like her. So they're like, that lady likes Taylor
That does
Swift.
happen sometimes. And I'm not going to lie, I did cut my bangs again after she went on tour. Because like, I kind of like going into gas stations and people being like, you look just like Taylor Swift. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
But also, I mean, legit, let's just, for the integrity of this show, not let anyone think that anything other than real life is happening over here or to me. Like, pretty girls often were molested by their cousins when they were 5 and fired for not returning sexual favors in the restaurant industry, or like, things happen that don't have anything to do with who you are as a person and who you're presenting to the world. And even if you were presenting something to the world that by society's definition asked for it, we should all just be disgusted that that's the response. And that I try to share and be vulnerable with people in my life who had different paths and lived experiences. But it has come out to the same raw emotion. Do you know what I mean? Like, to me, I see like meets like I will see someone in shreds over a thing that has happened in their life that has truly uprooted who they knew they were as a person, right? And you're there, you listen, like, at some point to offer advice. I know it's never like the first thing, but like when you go to reach in your own trusted experience and you offer something that's like, you know, at this point in my life, when I did struggle with this, I took comfort in knowing that XYZ. To feel the resistance that someone then puts out because you are a size 8 and not a, do you know what I mean? Like, it truly, like, it hurts in a way that I don't know people understand. And I hear it. Look, no, everyone hates the fucking, like, oh, pretty girl, are you gonna cry? Is it just are you too pretty? Is it too great? You guys all should know at this point in the year of our Lord 2023, life is a garbage fire. It's not great for anyone. And we're all part of, like, why that is. And, like, to me, I feel connecting with someone like Taylor Swift, it's this interesting, like, it's almost like a hobby how much I enjoy plugging in to everything about her and being vulnerable. Because I know it's a safe space to do that. And I know if I'm going online to be like, oh, this is about Taylor or whatever, or look up news, it is never going to be doomsday, fuck yourself, you're not good enough, you're not welcome here. It is why people play D&D. It is why people do things like Renaissance fairs. It is my personal place and island to go to just, like, able to be me. It's fine and it's okay. You may be 13, you may be 89. We're all here for the same reason. And I'm sorry, like, I am thankful that this person exists and is giving us access to the parts of her life she chooses to share and able to access our own sort of feelings about who we are.
And the anger is eventually sadness, because I'm like, you decided that it was Taylor Swift's job to make you feel comfortable with something that you're struggling with, instead of, like, checking in with your mental health professional and going, hey, when I saw that on Taylor Swift's,
it made me feel this.
Yeah, it made me feel this. Can we, because there are going to be triggers. Like,
listen, I've heard so many people who are content creators, who are writing think pieces about the things, who are very involved in, like, pop culture at large, say things like the following: it's fine, she's great, I know it's just not for me, just, I don't know. And it's like, but that's like to convey this, like, I don't have to be nice to her kind of, like, do you know what I mean? It's lifting a veil of social decency that I don't like. And I don't get why it's fair, just because it's like someone being like, I mean, like, don't take this the wrong way, but people being like, she's great, she's fine, it's just not for me. And then telling me something that they just, like, really hate about her, or, like, why they don't love it when a lot of people are around that like her, or whatever the story you're about to share is. To me, like, they never stick the landing. The premise does not match. Like, nothing about this is worthy of news. You don't need to be sharing it with me. Like, it feels very much like someone just kind of, like, throwing up insecurity on themselves. Like, she's become this interesting mirror of just, what is beauty? What is fame? What is, like, success? And it scares men shitless. We've seen this in almost every man who's come in contact with her, I'll be honest. And it also has just had this, like, very interesting ripple effect with women that, like, as much as, like, we are a bipartisan state politically, I mean, you know, I'm a child of the 80s and 90s, so I say that from yesteryear. Now it's decimated. It's not bipartisan. I don't recognize it. But, like, it is interesting that humanity is still going to, like, form opinions and sides on all things. Like, it's like we could be anarchists living in the Evermore woods trying to, like, gather and hunt, and there would be a thing that we all felt a way about, like this. Like, it may not be a person. It's an interesting and I think beautiful sort of study in human nature when we have somebody such a linchpin for popular culture over such a long period of time. It's like a Madonna thing. It's like Michael Jackson was fine. Like, people were okay with all the famous men being really famous and good at their jobs. I just don't remember anyone being mad at it. Am I wrong?
I don't remember Taylor Swift ever moving minors into her mansion and telling their parents to mind their business about what they were doing.
Let's go there too. Okay, she didn't pee on anyone. There's no rape involved. Like, let's go all the way into the closet with R. Kelly. Let's just get real about our idols and pop stars.
I mean, as we know, I love and breathe David Bowie, but I had to swallow some hard truths after he died, and because I am at my core, I am a lover of music and art. unfortunately, my body, my voice, and whatever just never got practiced enough in the art of music, but my brain has always gone, yes. I am a lover of music in a way.
Well, you're an artist and you feel like music speaks to you, yeah.
So I love Bowie. And I have to, the Rolling Stones, Aerosmith, you have to fucking swallow some hard truths about these bands that you grew up with in your kitchen and your mommy said it was okay to listen to. And then you find out years later in your upper 20s that they were fucking 17-year-olds the entire time. And then being like, well, we didn't ID anybody and blaming the girls while writing songs about fucking 15-year-olds. Poison. Elizabeth, we have promised, we're promising the Patreon members now that they actually get to hear us talk about fun stuff about Taylor Swift.
Fun stuff, because there's so much, you guys.
There's so much. Yeah. So, and I kind of have a heart out at 10:15 because...
Yes, you did tell me that, and I apologize. Let's do it.
It's only because I have to, do, therapy with my feral panther that lives in my home.
I know. Poor Penelope, hug her for me if you can.
Let's move into our closing of the show. If you wanted to shout from a rooftop one lesson you have learned from Taylor Swift, her career, and the backlash that she has warranted, I guess, what would your lesson be?
You're on your own, kid.
You always have been. It truly hits me every time.
Every time.
Every time. I think You're on Your Own, Kid is so beautiful. And I think that people just believe that, rich, pretty people just have all of these people who are backing them up and loving them and whatever. And I just don't think we've ever sat to be like, okay, but, how did Charlie Sheen end up how he ended up?
Listen, the beauty and truth in the song, it is so naked and honest. I can think of any celebrity listening to that song and just, dissolve. Literally, it is... It is so good, and it is so true.
So, and I think my biggest lesson is, and it's one that I think I actually learned. No, it's not one that I've learned. It's one that Stephanie reminds me of every time I am sad about something that someone has said about me that I do not actually feel was justified or actually spoke to my truth or actually defined my character. And it's always, if they're gonna say it, fucking live it. And that's what she does. That's why when you texted me and you're like, Anti-Hero is going to be your favorite number on this album. And then I texted you when I listened to the whole album and I went, what? I was like, did you not listen to Vigilante Shit?
Girl, that is, here's what's funny about the true life story of that. I hadn't yet. I was mid first listen. I literally was so high on Anti-Hero.
It's so good.
So fucking high on it. I got the vinyl, girl. It's it should be a holiday. The day this, oh my God, I just love it all. But yeah, so I was first listen texting you live.
I love that.
But yeah,
always
man,
do that.
People who try to shit on Vigilante Shit, we need to live on separate islands.
Cat liner sharp enough to kill a man.
It's so fucking good, and it's so great that it's about Skid Row, and I love everything about it.
The line, I don't dress for women, I don't dress for men. Lately, I've been dressing for revenge. I'm like, yes.
It's amazing. Not only is it so of the moment relevant. I love how she weaves, and people don't give her credit for this at all. She weaves these socio-political sort of threads into her songs in ways that are not as obvious as teardrops on my guitar, or, they are very subtle. There's many, many layers. And I think she does that very well in this instance, in this sort of non-binary, kind of fluid, and that the allegory is that it's her style, that she's dressed the makeup and the clothing, but really what she's talking about is actual politics and business and real vengeful shit. It's, oh man, it gives me the same kind of feels that I got the first time I saw the Bad Blood video with her and Selena.
What's your manifestation for everyone in our collective universe?
I would just love for all of us to be brave enough to live stupidly and honestly and out loud in a way that is easy to make fun of. Because if you are not easy to make fun of, honestly, I just don't know, like, you might be playing it too safe.
You might. All of the people who love me the most are the people who make fun of me the most.
As it should be. Like, I think that that's all part of living life loudly and proudly and with joy.
And I can visualize so many people smiling to themselves right now. And that was for you. I think my manifestation is, I hope you want everyone to live a life where they're easy to make fun of. I'm ready for everyone to start living the lives where they walk into the room and go, it's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. Be more problematic. And like, be a problem for the things that are bothering you, for this misogynistic bullshit, for this tracking of our sex lives, for this making rules about who's allowed to hate their body vocally and who's allowed to hate their body in silence.
Or what beauty is. Even.
Or what beauty is. Or whether or not you should be hating your own body. Because I've had people tell me, don't you hate your body? No. I'm a hot girl. I do hot shit.
I say I hate my body sometimes and people are literally like, what?
Right. Sometimes we just say that we hate our bodies because we think it's what we're supposed to say so people continue to like us.
That's exactly right. I've tried to get laid before by cool dudes by being like, I hate myself so much.
Right. So, fuck you and your cool indie record that was so much better than mine.
Yeah, for real.
I'm your problem, bitch. It's me. And I've got to tell everybody in my personal life or all of the people that I meet who think I want to hang this girl. Hang this girl. I want to hang with this girl.
I feel this was like a Freudian slip here.
I'm always going to be the problem. I can't turn it off. I literally told my therapist that yesterday. I was like, hey.
Did you think your job was working? 'Cause I'm broken forever.
I was like, I can't turn off my podcast persona to stop telling people that their internalized misogyny is a motherfucking problem. And sometimes we're just at Baskin Robbins and people don't want to hear that their fucking internalized misogyny is a goddamn problem.
But yeah. But we're all made and meant to affect lives daily in different ways. And think about the insidious and nuanced ways every day of the 39 years I've been alive. I've been given the message that pretty is too much and not enough. Thin is a problem and the answer. Being a slut and having all the sex makes you the best and the worst. Like, we are all living the same shared experience in one way or another. All women who grew up at any point in time. So the fact that there's a place to come on and just fucking vent about it and spew, like, you're the patron saint of, I don't know, like, feminist healing. Like, it's very...
Put me on a candle and sell me at boutiques.
A candle of Taylor Swift, actually, that I sometimes think my Christian roommate maybe doesn't appreciate.
Oh, no.
But it's like one of those, like, the prayer candles.
Yes.
Because she is my, like, that's, to me, and we'll wrap it up this way, Taylor Swift is the patron saint of living genuinely in a way that brings actual success. And that scares the shit out of men and women both.
She's living so genuinely that people don't think that she's doing it.
That's right. Like,
because they both get to see the genuine and also live in wonder of the genuine.
Right. So I just watched the episode of Full House the other day. It's one of my comforts, where DJ puts on too much makeup for middle school first day, and then Aunt Becky has to come in and be like, the key to makeup. She talked weirdly porny. Go back and watch it, you guys. She would. Key to makeup is making it look like you're not wearing any. And so then she teaches her how to do like no makeup look, like 40 years before TikTok or some shit. And she does it, goes to school. This is what I'm saying is Taylor Swift living her life is like the 1990s magazine version of like the no makeup look. She makes you believe whatever it is right for you to believe that day about her, who she is, and what she's doing. Whether you decide to participate in that social experiment isn't actually up to you, because you're going to hear about her anyway. So you're going to think things about it and about her. And I very much enjoy the kind of social experiment that the reaction to Taylor Swift has become.
Well, Elizabeth, tell them where they can find you because they love you.
Oh my gosh, apparently right here forever. I live here. This has been so much fun. Like, I'm like, wait, are we done?
We're done, but we're not done because we're going to do bonus content for Patreon.
So you can find me on all socials at Final Girl Scout. I will warn you now, I go dark every once in a while. I just need breaks from social media, but I am there. I love collaborating. If you are a musician looking for podcast hosts or guests, I can talk bullshit about anything, you guys. Mostly Taylor Swift and horror movies, but yeah, I enjoy meeting creative people doing interesting projects, and Natalie is one of those people that I met doing those things, and it's been great.
It's been fantastic. Everyone, if you know what it is, it's the Instagram, it's Men I've Tolerated Pod. That'll have a link to the TikTok, the YouTube, the Still Comfy schedule, the Patreon, where you're going to want to be like, man, this was great about like Taylor stomping all over the patriarchy, but like I just wanted to talk about the Lover album. Cool, it's on Patreon. Give me $5 a month. That's all. You can hear me talk about Lover, but everyone, just remember out there, you don't have to smile through anything you're tolerating, including building a hell of a career just to have everyone tell you that you don't deserve it and you didn't work hard for it, even though you're a mastermind. Smiles are for joy.